Hi guys, how you doing? I hope you're all well. I hope you guys have enjoyed your Christmas break. I know it's still sort of going because it's not New Year's yet. Obviously from the 3rd it's when the holidays will be over. So yeah, even if you haven't had fun until now, you still have a bit of time to have fun. So yeah, I hope you've had a good holiday so far, and if not, I hope you're hoping to have a good holiday for the rest of the holidays. That's a lot of holiday. What? Anyway, Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. Today I just wanted to share with you just a few things that I've learned throughout the year. I feel like 2016 has been a really good year for me. I've never really had a year where I've been like, oh, this year's been shitty or this year's been crappy. I guess I try to live in the moment as much as I can. So even if something terrible happened like in January or March that year, I try not to let that affect how I feel at the end of the year. So yeah, in general I think it's been a pretty good year. It's pretty hot, so let me turn the aircon on just a sec. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you a few things that I've learned this year. This is going to be very chatty and very informal, so pardon me if I rumble a little bit. Yeah, the first thing I feel I've learned or I've realized I've applied this year and has been really beneficial for me that I want to continue to do is I feel like I've been really daring with a lot of things. Prior to this year, I feel like I had just stayed in my comfort zone a lot, and I just used to make excuses around why I need to stay in that comfort zone. But I feel like a lot of things have changed this year, and I'm not exactly sure what made me decide to be more daring. I think it was just around, you've been comfortable for this long and nothing's changed, everything's the same, why don't we try this and see how that goes. And I think one of the most daring things that I did was going to Tony Robbins' concert. I felt it was daring not because the actual event was scary or anything. It was just because of the amount of money I had to spend on it. That isn't something that I generally would do, like spend money on that, something like that, just to go see, like a motivational speaker or something like that. So I feel like that was daring in that sense, but it was worth every penny, and the things that I learned from that I'm definitely going to carry on throughout my life. Besides that as well, there's like, I have a small business that I do on the side. I had been very hesitant about like telling people about it and being open about it and sharing it with people, and that was because I was afraid of opinions and people not buying it and people not wanting to purchase from me or for whatever reason, which is really silly now that I think of it, because it's a great product and it's something that I use myself and I know is beneficial for everyone really. So I don't know why I was so hesitant about it. But I was daring enough to tell more people about it and be open about it. And now the market that I'm getting is really good. So basically it's shea butter that I get from home, and I make it into body butters and things like that, and I sell it to people. And now people are really interested and people are finding it really great for their skin and for their hair and whatnot. So it's been really good. So being daring has been really great for me this year, and that's something that I definitely want to continue to do because the world is just so big and there's just so much to see and there's so much to explore and there's so much to experience, and if you just want to stay in your comfort zone then you're never gonna see different things really. So yeah, the next thing I would say is I've started questioning a lot of the things that I do as well. I think this year, because I got a lot more into meditation, a lot more into yoga and all that, I've become very aware, and I try to ask myself, why am I actually doing this particular activity that I'm doing? Why am I actually saying this thing that I'm saying? I think asking those questions help you stay in line with your actual goals. There's so many distractions around us. There's TV, there's YouTube, there's other forms of social media that can be very distracting, that can give you the impression that you need to be doing a certain thing, which might not necessarily be in line with what you actually want. But just because everyone is doing it and that's what everyone is saying you should do, you might end up just doing that. And then in the end, once you do all those things, you still feel this emptiness, like, why am I actually doing these things that I'm doing? Because now I have all these things and I'm still like, meh, like, what does that mean for me, you know? But I think having an end goal in mind, knowing that I want to do this because this is what I want. I want to do this because this is what I want to achieve. I want to do this because this is the outcomes that I'm seeking. I want to do this because I want to feel like I've actually put an effort into something. I want to do this because I want it to be a learning process for me. Whatever that looks like for you, I think doing that has been very beneficial for me, and that's definitely something that I want to continue to do. Any activity, any task, anything that I feel like I need to do, I need to question myself and ask, why do I actually want to do this? What are the outcomes that I'm seeking? And I think that helps me stay on track, and that keeps me in line with the things that I actually want in life. Another thing that I would say I've learned is I have really been my own hindrance. Yeah, because just this negative self-talk and, stopping myself from doing all these things, which comes back to the daring. I think recognizing that I have been my own hindrance all along. In anything that I want to achieve, I've been my own hindrance, and I'm the only person that has been responsible for stopping myself from achieving those things. So now that I've become very aware of that, I am very conscious of the kind of talk I say to myself, what kind of stories I tell myself, and what I tell myself about why I can't do this or why I can do this, or whatever that looks like. So that's another thing that I've taken from this year. Another big thing I would say is boundaries. I think boundaries is a big thing for anyone, really, especially when it comes to relationships with people and with friendships and things like that. I feel like I tend to wear my heart on my sleeve a little bit, and I'm quite generous and sweet to everyone. And I think because I'm that way, I have this expectation that everyone will be that way, or I assume that everyone's going to be that way. But obviously that's not the case, and not because they're trying to hurt me or anything like that. It's just because their decisions might not necessarily be in line with what I think is the right decision, you know what I mean? So I think just being aware of that and just doing what I can from my side, and not having any expectations of others, and just being loving regardless, and at the same time just knowing where to put the boundaries, and at what level do I want to connect with people, and how far away do I want to stay from people? Do I really want to distance myself? And if I want to distance myself, how far do I want to stay from them, and how close do I want to be to certain people as well? I think being aware of that is really, really beneficial for me, and that's something that I definitely want to continue to take on through to the new year. Another thing I feel I've realized about myself is I think I'm really good at staying stress-free. Like as I said before, if something negative happened like earlier on in the year, by the end of the year I would have forgotten about it. Like, you literally have to remind me that, oh, didn't that actually happen? And you're like, oh really? Yeah, actually that's right. So I'm pretty good at letting go of things that haven't necessarily served me. I don't let it bother me too much, and that's because as I said before, I try to live in the present moment as much as I can. So, and that can be good. That's really good, I find. But I think sometimes it makes my relationships pretty interesting, where certain people might do the same thing over and over again, because the first time they did it, I forget about it, like I don't even worry about it anymore, and then the next time it happens, I'm like, oh, actually you've done this before, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's helpful to be mindful a little bit more and be aware a little bit more, so that way when it's done, it's like, oh yeah, it's happened before, it's not really a surprise, and that way I'm able to guard my emotions a little bit. So yeah, I think that has been a strength, and a tiny bit of a weakness as well when it comes to some aspects. So that's something that I've become mindful of as well. The final thing that I would say I've learned this year as well is to just value relationships a little bit more. I feel like I tend to be a little, like I'm quite independent, which is great. Like it's a great thing to be independent, I think. But at the same time, like I do have relationships with people, so it helps to be a little bit interdependent sometimes. So you can take on people's opinions, and you know, you can make the best out of whatever you've got, really, because sometimes your ideas are not always the best ideas. Some ideas from other people might help make your ideas even better, you know. So I think that's something that I've become more aware of, and I think I need to, I mean, still maintain my opinion and still be strong around them and whatnot, but at the same time be willing to hear others and be willing to incorporate other people's opinions into my life, especially if I have a relationship with them. So yeah, that's another thing that I've become aware of, because I think now that I'm gradually starting to do that, I feel like my relationships with others are much better, and I feel like we're achieving bigger things together than I would have on my own as well. So yeah, that's something that I've become aware of. So those were a few things that I feel like I've gotten out of this year, and I'm really happy to take on to the next year. Let me know if there's anything in particular that resonates with you guys, or if there's anything in particular that you've learned this year that you're wanting to take on to the next year. Thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I shall see you in my next video. Bye guys.